Zoo School teachers. So I wanted to use this video to kind of talk about different ways that you could do voiceover. And obviously right now this is not voiceover yet, but it will be. So the idea is basically if you're on a zoo hike or you want to read a book to post up on YouTube, what you're going to do is you're going to take your video as you normally would, or you could take pictures. So for the book, it may be easier to take pictures of each page. If you have a really long book, then maybe videotaping yourself turning the pages might work better. But especially on a zoo hike, you might be able to describe some of the things that are going on without losing the video of whatever it is that's happening. So for enrichments, if you see an elephant feeding or whatever it is that may be happening, you can take a video of that and then be able to put audio over top of it and completely cancel out all the screaming kids in the background because, you know, that's cool. Yeah, I'm just going to show you a couple different ways. This is the book that I'm going to use, Georgie and the Stingray City. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take pictures of every single one of these pages, and then I'm going to post them over my face, but you're still going to hear my voice. And the way that I'm doing this is using an app called iMovie, and that's the letter I and then the word movie. It is an app for Apple phones, any Apple product pretty much. So if you have an Android, there are alternatives that I'll have to go over. But for right now, this is the one that I use. Essentially, what you're going to do is take pictures of the book and then record yourself reading it, which is nice because especially with a voiceover, you can do the voiceover as many times as you want until you think you sound just right, and then you can post it that way, and then you'll have the pictures popping up in the background. So what I'm going to do now is I'm only going to read a couple pages because, you know, I'm not going to read the whole book. But I don't even have to look at you when I do it. I'm just going to be right here, and all you're going to do is hear my voice. You could do this on your phone as well. That's the nice thing about this. You can do this on your phone. You can do it from home. You can do it from school. And it only takes a couple minutes. So I'll go ahead and start reading the book. And as soon as I start reading, the pictures are going to start popping up. So here we go. Georgie and the Stingray City. Written by Aaron Connolly and illustrated by Megan Kunis. Georgie, the little stingray, floated up from the seafloor and gazed at Grand Cayman's beautiful sandy shore. The beach stretched for miles and the water was crystal blue. The sun was shining brightly as Georgie wondered, what should I do? So, as you can see, if I did it right, you should see the pictures are lined up in time with how I'm reading it. I'm not gonna lie to you, it might take a little bit of practice to get the timing down, but essentially, when you're doing this, you're just layering the pictures over the times that you're talking. So imagine a loose leaf piece of paper. There are lines sequential on how you read from top to bottom, right, and left to right. So what you want to do is you're going to want to have your voice recording as one separate line the whole way through, right, from start to finish. And then you want the pictures to sync up with the parts on the next line under your voice recording line. You want the pictures to sync up in time with where your words, you know, where you're speaking the book. So essentially when I started saying Georgie and the Stingray City, I showed the cover of the book. And then when I mentioned the writer and illustrator, it was a different page. And then so on and so forth. Now, if the page is one whole giant page and you want the whole, you know, scope of it, meaning that both pages make one picture, you can play around with it a little bit. Maybe a panoramic picture might be your best option. But there's different ways of doing it. So at the end of the day, really what it comes down to is just being able to provide that voiceover reading that, you know, the kids can come to at any point in time that they want. You know, they can look you up on our specific YouTube channel, and we're going to make it so that no random people in the public can do it, just the students. But they can look it up, and they can hear you read a book to them anytime they want. I just think that's super cool. So if you have any other questions, feel free to let me know. And if you do not have access to iMovie or are having trouble with the voiceover ideas, we can definitely work out some other stuff. So feel free to reach out to me.